In this video, we're going to look at how document templates can be structured to take into account corporate legislative requirements in different jurisdictions. The goal is to have the documents that we create reflect the specific wording and requirements for each jurisdiction. For this video, we're going to look at the qualification of people to act as directors of corporations. In the document template appointing directors, we have added in the capability to generate consent forms for each of the directors to be appointed. Each of the lines in paragraphs 1 and 2 of the consent contain formula with terms like dir_consent_text_2a. This is in fact a reference to a table below whose values vary depending upon the legislative requirements for the corporate jurisdiction of the corporation. The consent form currently allows up to 7 subparagraphs for paragraph 2 relating to the qualifications of a director. Row 365 contains the variables whose names start with dir_consent_text, which are the building blocks for the consent form. These variables access the text from the table which starts at row 371 based on matching the jurisdiction in the yellow cell with the darker rose jurisdictions below. If there is no match on jurisdiction, then the default text on row 368 is assigned to each of the variables. Section 124 of the British Columbia Business Corporations Act sets out some fairly detailed requirements for people wishing to become directors of a corporation. These are presented in the cells in row 371. California, Delaware, and Wisconsin all require that a director be a natural person. California legislation provides that qualifications may be set in the bylaws of a corporation. Wisconsin legislation provides that director qualifications may be in the Articles of Incorporation. And Delaware legislation provides that it may be in either. Consequently, our text provides a representation that the person seeking to be a director is not disqualified from being so under the relevant provisions. Returning to the top of the document template, you can see that the last line is a calculated number, which is the maximum number of rows of the resolution, which is 59, and the number of people being appointed director times the maximum number of rows for each consent, which is 30. For the current corporation and date, the last line is calculated at 89, as there is only one director being appointed. This calculated number is used to set the print area for the preparation of the document. Now we're going to go back to the main screen and generate resolutions and consent for a British Columbia corporation that's appointing a director. As you can see, the resolutions are pretty standard, but the consent contains a considerable amount of details around the qualifications required for directors under the British Columbia legislation. We are now going to return to the main sheet. Select a corporation incorporated in California. Retrieve the data for the corporation. Select a date for the appointment of directors for this corporation, and then press the button to generate a document package for the appointment of directors. Again, the resolutions look pretty standard, except that we have the appointment of 5 directors on this date. The consent confirms that each prospective director is a natural person and is not disqualified from acting as a director of the corporation pursuant to the bylaws of the corporation. This is consistent with the requirements of California corporate law. What we have shown in this video is how the corporate law provisions in different jurisdictions can be addressed flexibly through the document generation capabilities of the corporate record system. Documents contain correct information and reflect the corporate law requirements in the applicable jurisdiction identified by information in the database. Additional jurisdictions and situations can be readily addressed and incorporated into your workflow. Changes can be made by you directly, by our developers on your behalf, or incorporated into future releases of the corporate record system. Thank you for taking the time and effort to view this video. and we hope that you use and enjoy this capability to create documents that fit your needs and style.